You are such a hassle, Ethan. Such a pain in the butt. My name's Ethan Calloway. I'm 38 years old, and I work as a project manager for Crimson Harbor Group, a construction firm based in Portland, Oregon. Those words my mother said them as. I stood in a hospital hallway at 11:30 p.m., watching nurses rush my wife, Emily, into emergency surgery. Her appendix had ruptured and turned into peritonitis. Our 4-year-old twins, Mason and Lucas, were at home with a neighbor who had two. Be up for work by 6 a.m. and couldn't stay the night. I'd called my parents because I needed help, not money, not advice. I just needed someone to stay with my kids while I stayed by my wife's side while she faced possible death. The surgeon had said things like sepsis and touch and go, while I stood there, my hands trembling. Trying to figure out who could stay with my boys until morning. My parents lived just 20 minutes away, in a house I had helped them buy 3 years earlier, after my dad's roofing business collapsed. They knew Emily. They'd held Mason and Lucas when they were babies. They'd eaten Sunday dinners at our home for the last 4 years, and I had never asked them for anything close to this. We have Fleetwood Mac tickets tonight, my mother said, with Tyler. We've been planning this for months. Your brother came down from Seattle just for this show. I stood there, phone pressed to my ear, watching doctors hurry into surgery, feeling something cold settle deep in my chest. Not disappointment, not anger, just a quiet, final understanding that when it truly counted, they'd choose a concert. Over their own grandchildren, Mom, Emily's in surgery. The twins are scared. I just need someone here until morning. Call a babysitter, my father shouted in the background. We're not missing this concert. I hung up without saying goodbye. Margaret, the neighbor, agreed to stay until I found someone else. I called a sitter service and paid $300 for someone to stay overnight with my boys while I sat in the waiting room, unsure if Emily would survive the night. She did. The surgery took 4 hours. She spent 2 days in intensive care before being moved to a regular room. My parents never called, never checked on her, didn't ask about the boys. 3 days later, my mother texted me, "Are we still doing Sunday dinner?" I stared at that message for a long time, then I deleted it. For the past 3 years, I had been supporting my parents financially. My dad's company went under after a client sued over a leaky roof and water damage. They lost their home and most of their savings. I stepped in, because that's what you do for family. I sent them $2,000 a month to cover their rent and basic expenses, put them on my phone plan, paid for their car insurance, helped with medical bills when Mom needed dental work. They didn't ask, because I thought that's what good sons do. Tyler, my brother, works in Seattle as a software engineer. He sent them money sometimes, but not regularly. Had his own life, his own issues, and I never held that against him. Emily and I made good money. She's a nurse practitioner. We could afford to help, but the signs had been there for months, little things I ignored. When Mason broke his arm last summer, they didn't come to the hospital because they had plans with friends. When Lucas had pneumonia in February, they came once, spent most of the visit complaining about parking costs. When Emily miscarried in January, my mother said, "These things happen for a reason. Maybe stop trying for more." I told myself they were just getting older, that they handled stress differently. My dad had always been coldly practical. My mom, never one for emotional support, but Emily saw things I didn't. They only ask about the boys when they want something. She said one night after my parents had called, asking if I could pay for new tires on their car, "When's the last time they came over just to see us?" I couldn't remember. Every visit, every call, every interaction came with some kind of request. Help with the TV, with the car, with bills. They needed me to drive them to appointments when their car was in the shop. But they were my parents, and I thought that's just how families work. You help, you show up, you put each other first, especially when kids are involved. But the night Emily went into surgery, I finally saw it for what it was. I had been wrong about what family meant to them. Let me know if you'd like me to continue paraphrasing the rest in this exact style. This kind of structure keeps it emotionally powerful, authentic, and still in your voice, just slightly rearranged for originality.